Hey everybody, Ben here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. I'm going to get into an emotion here you may be struggling with, navigate our way through it, or understand it a bit more, process it. All right. We got resentful and repulsed. Had repulsed the other day. Uh, our experience. Something is there that uh, whether we picked up on it, we're wearing it now. Something, a person, place, or thing, an experience really made us repulsed, sick to our gut. It is filth. It is a negative energy. It is dense. It may be following us no matter where we go. It may be coming into our home. Maybe we had a partner that did something that really turned us off. Uh, it is it is emanating, and obviously when that's in a space that we would deem safe or comfortable, that can really lower our vibration. Maybe it's sent to us, resentful. Uh, this can also be, let's just, I won't leave them out of the game. Let's say we're a really negative person and we're carrying a lot of anger still and we're stewing on that. And maybe this doesn't have to be just a negative person. Maybe think we're a positive person and we're not really aware of the resentment that we're carrying still. But somebody did something to us and we we hold that anger and we stew on it and we blame all the time everything that happens in our life, everything we see in our life. It is that person's fault, and no matter what happens, we'll never be satisfied. This is resentful. When I think of it, it is, I could give you everything you want and more, and you'll still won't be satisfied. Absolutely nothing can satisfy that that urge, that need, whatever is in there, whatever took place, and that can create that, and then we're in it. That filth is on us. We are in there. We are emanating it, and everything around us will remind us of that because of the mirror. What I feel inside, I'm going to project out. People, places, or things, my environment, and I'm going to see things that remind me of it to give it, and it's going to feed that because that's what I want, because that's what I'm emanating. So I see that and it feeds that fire, and I get more and more upset. Uh, whether whether this is for someone that uh, felt like they got dealt a bad hand, whether they deserved it or not, uh, they're still upset about it. And when we think of two aspects. We can look at a victim mentality and a true victim. A true victim that's upset, or the uh, the negative individual that holds a lot of entitlement regardless. And do they want to heal? Well, that's up to them, and they may not be able to. They may not. They be too far gone. They may be in the position of I already chose that path, and they can't even see any other avenue. So they're just riding that storm out. We'll go back to the victim aspect because I would hope people in a more positive place are watching my video, but we could have a lot of negative, dark practitioner kind of vibes if we wish as well. So the the victim, yes, things may have been done upon us, and they they were real, and they very much well were probably wrong, and we're still holding on to that. Why would we want to? I said before, if Jimmy back in the day punched me in the face and it deformed my face a bit for a couple weeks until it healed, uh, it's over. Yeah, he hit me, but if I'm still holding on to that anger about Jimmy doing that 10 years ago, sure, it may not look like I'm hit anymore, but I'm getting hit every day inside because I'm, number one, keeping that energy connected to that person. And let's say he was a dark individual. Well, I'm feeding him, I'm keeping him alive, in essence, through my energy. And with that connection, every day he's still hitting me. So at what point do I choose to stop allowing him to hit me? This is where that whole we're not forgiving them for themselves to be guilt free. We're forgiving them for us. And this is this disconnect. At what point do we choose to stop being a victim to it? I said before, every story has a villain and a victim, and it will always be that way until who's the most powerful in that story? The villain. The victim is getting attacked or hurt or abused or whatever. At what point will that ever change? Well, the victim says, I'm not going to be a victim anymore. That's the only person that can change the story because the villain's not going to stop ever. They never will stop. The only time that the story can change is when the victim sees its own power and decides not to be a victim anymore. So if we are in that position, what are you doing? And that's up to you to decide. Because in essence, we'll always be here. If someone on a darker level is watching and they're holding much of this, well, this is a path that we've chosen if we're too far gone, and we'll always be in this energy. And hey, duality exists. I understand that, and that's fine. I'm not here to say anything. But say you wanted to actually let go of this. Say you really wanted to let go of this. Well, you'd have to look at yourself. You'd have to look at your wounds. Why do you think you were wronged? At what time can we see our actions as anything beyond acceptable? At what time do you take accountability for what you've done to feel that you are deserving of something, that you have this anger still? And do you love turning around and looking at all the filth all around you, all the misery? That's what you are inside. That's foul if you feel that way. That is how you feel about yourself inside. It's not what other people did. That's how you feel. That's a choice. So you can change it, but maybe you don't want to because you look at that and it's disgusting. And that's probably what you see all around you. But that's up to you. So anyway, we'll probably stay more focused on the true victim here. Oh, I didn't even go through the opposites. So resentful opposite is acceptance. If going back to that story, yes, horrible things may have happened to me, and during that period I was a victim. And if it's however long ago, I'm still choosing to be the victim. And I always will be in that story until I do something. A lot of the times when we're a victim to something, it's around a wound, a trauma. We gotta be open to look and reflect on uh, whatever was done to me, however it made me feel. How is that connected to a wound? A victim's never going to want to hear this. That hey, I have a wound, and I am, uh, uh, I draw in, or I'm attracted to people that are that wound. That's strongly what I believe, and provable if we really open up and reflect on everything that we carry these wounds or these traumas, and we experience people that exploit them or heighten them or expose them. And through that, obviously there's pain and there's hardship, but during that process it's for us to see it, and we choose what to do with it. We could see it and we could do nothing with it. That hey, they did this to me and it hurt in this certain spot, and maybe I don't know why it hurts, just because they're a bad person. But what did I have connected to that wound-wise or a trauma or an experience. Once I finally see that, I can be empowered. I can leave the victim space and not allow people to exploit that anymore. And in that period, my vibration changes and none of that can come in anymore because it's not a vibrational match. I'm not going to be drawing it in, and they're not going to be attracted to me because they know they can't get in. The opposite of repulsed is cleanliness. During that period, I don't have that cord connected to them, or I'm not sending them energy by still dwelling on Jimmy 20 years or 10 years ago, whatever it was, that hurt me. I can be detached from it now. It's not dumping its filth into me anymore to still be connected. And I'm going to accept the idea that, yeah, this story does have a villain and a victim, but what happened happened, and I'm not going to be the victim anymore. I'm going to empower myself. So the card that popped out was the Knight of Pentacles. Commitment. We'd have to commit. You know how much strength it would have to take if we were a victim, naturally, and probably true and deserving of that title. But to commit to not being a victim anymore, to stand up and to see the power that you hold, to not be that anymore. That is when things take place. If we really think of those stories or cartoons, cat and a mouse, whatever it may be, there is always the villain or the stronger one attacking or abusing or triumphing above the victim. Fairy tales, whatever it is, the evil witch, it is always there until that victim empowers themselves and triumphs or sees what that evil witch was doing or taking or using or exploiting. That will always continue until we see it and we do something with it and we commit to that. We believe in ourselves. Rapunzel's coming to my mind, and she needed that hair, that energetic cord, that connection. Once you saw it and you disconnected it, and we actually let go. Sure, we can do all the cord cutting ceremonies and bullshit here and there. They won't work at all because we would still be holding on to that repressed feeling. We're still a victim. We're still in that space. Nothing magically goes away because we won't allow it. When we allow it, it does. It's how it works. It's how magic works in general. And if we need a belief attached to it. We're paying people for all these healings. And yes, sometimes releases do help and they can be helpful and guided through the experience. But if we're still holding that belief, that truth inside of us, it's done. Any type of energy healing, just in general, if we go in there that this is fake or this isn't going to work, well, we're not going to feel anything. It's all about our belief. And maybe we're not ready to let go of it. But if we're pissing and moaning about our current circumstances, it's time to look at ourselves at a time. I got a lot of pain right here. So it's clearly connected to our heart. And anytime we're a victim or in that space, that is heartbreaking, especially depending on who did it, or just the idea that a person could do this or want this for someone. That is a horrible thing, but we need to choose to let go of this. Ten of Swords, overburdened. It hurt. Yes, it was real. It did happen. How dare them? Those are all true statements. But there comes a time that we have to let go and move forward and accept. Death card. Transitions. Making this change through commitment. whatever. It's attached to people, places, or things, experiences. Something from the past obviously brought us to where we're at today. And when we hang on to that, we can't move forward. We never will be, depending on what it is. And this filth, because of this, and we may not think it's that big of a deal, but it is. How often do we think about it? And when we think about it, how do we feel about it? Uh, it is pretty clear. Page of Pentacles, ambition. This is right underneath commitment. Uh, when we finally let go of these things, and I'm not saying it's easy, uh, obviously, because we're hanging on to it still. We want some sort of validation, some proof, some karma to strike. But that'll never be enough. Remember what I said about being resentful. That person could have horrible things happen to him, and it won't even matter. It would never be enough with this energy. Resentment doesn't matter what happens. You were done wrong, and uh, it doesn't matter what kind of karma they get. It's never going to be enough, because we're holding something was so wrong donely to you, and we really are going to be there until we commit and have that ambition to say, nothing's going to change. I have to do this. I have to do this if I want something better in this experience. A Chariot reversed, impulsive acts. When I think of the Chariot upright, I think of I piss excellence. This needs done. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to win. I'm going to get everything done. On the opposite aspect, I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't want to leave this space. Let's just go back to victim versus I piss excellence. This is the enemy or the villain and the victim in the story. I can't get up. This is right underneath the Ten of Swords, of overburdened. I can't let go of this. This is resentment. That is the definition, at least how I see it. Like, I can't, this is my identity, How can I change this story? And then we're coming up here on the Death card. How can I let go of this? How can I go through this transition? We've got Three of Pentacles, collaboration. We need to talk to someone, whether it's source, God, divine. We need an outside party. A lot of times if I try to do things myself, or you would do it yourself, our emotions are connected to that. They're charged. This is real to us. Whatever took place is probably connected to a wound or a trauma, something from childhood that molded or created a wound. And I can't let go of this because I can't see that, because I'm justifying that it's okay somehow, or whatever. My shadow is in my ear manipulating things, and that's why we hang on to things like that. So anyway, our emotions are connected to that. So I'm not going to be able to see this here, and I'm not going to see what they did, and I'm not going to see how I feel and how it all connects, because my emotions are focused on this as a separate entity, this as a separate entity, and that maybe I can see, but it's completely not in the picture. And there's no blame there. I'm just saying that we see things that pertain to us and how it feels, because our emotions are connected to it. If I try to do a reading on myself to ask a question, well, I want an outcome. And say cards come out that say something completely different than, or they're negative. Well, I'm going to think it's a failure because I had to see it a certain way. And because it didn't come out that way, I interpreted it the wrong way. That's how our emotions kind of get in the way with anything and everything in our experience. This does suck, especially this part. However, it's manifesting in our experience. And we're at a turning point here that we're going to continue to have this life until we change that story to go from victim to empowered, to I'm not going to allow this anymore. Otherwise, we will always be here for the rest of our life, and maybe into other lifetimes. Maybe we carried this in from another lifetime, and it's time to break that cycle. This is a trauma. This is a wound. This is an experience. Whether uh, we deem ourselves in good light or bad light, it doesn't matter. Uh, Everything's an opportunity, but it would be recommended to get different eyes on the situation to let go of this. Because even though we have that resentment and we're in that place of the victim, something deep down inside wants to let go, while the other side needs it to feel empowered, when really it's the opposite. I'm going to leave this here. If this resonated, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will talk to y'all later.